welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing kind of a different video than I normally do. I'm going to be doing kind of like a story time, but also like a customer service, like horror story slash experience video. I've seen a lot of videos like this and I have so much fun watching them. I think they're so hilarious and so relatable because I think at some point in your life you are going to have to work a retail job. So these are like very relatable stories and they're just hilarious. So I have a lot of experience working in retail, so I figured this would be a very fun video for me to do, and I'm going to try my best to like kind of remember like all of them because there's a lot. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this type of video, and if you do, then don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so the first one that I can think of that's the freshest in my mind, this is a job. I worked at a grocery store, which this is my current job right now, which I love my job. It's just there's a lot of crazy customers. So this happened about like 3 weeks ago now. So I was at work and I was kind of having a bad day just because, like, I don't know, I forgot even why I was having a bad day, but like I was just having a bad day. So this lady comes to my line. Well, she was like behind a customer that I was working on, and I can hear her like talking about how she's so sick of this store and she's so sick of like there not being enough like cashiers working, and we never have baggers, which I agree, like it sucks. Like we never have people to bag groceries, so like the cashier always has to like bag the groceries, like ring up everything. Like it's just a hassle. Like if we had a bagger, like transactions would be a lot smoother. But we don't have enough workers. Okay, it's not my fault. It's like my manager's fault. So I can already hear her like complaining about how like she's irritated, blah blah blah. I'm like, cool, like I'm gonna have to deal with this lady. So she gets up to my line and she hands me like all her stuff, and I start like scanning her stuff. And usually what I do is I'll scan stuff and then I'll put it in the bag, so I don't have to like pile everything and then scatter to get everything bagged. So I start like bagging. She's like, oh, I have my own bags, like I can handle it. And I'm like, okay, like yeah, that's fine, go ahead. So I'm scanning. So then I finish and I notice that she had like a lot of groceries. So I was like, okay, like I'm gonna take it upon myself and I'm gonna help her bag. So I grab all her bread and I put it in a bag. And I know as a cashier that when there's too much stuff in a bag that the stuff is gonna get squished. Pretty sure I'm capable of doing that. Like I know when there's too much stuff in a bag that stuff is gonna get squished. Like how is bread gonna squish bread? Like, I mean, I guess it technically could, but like soft thing and a soft thing aren't really gonna squish each other. So I go to put the stuff in the bag. She's like,
oh my god, are you kidding me?
Like I swear to God, guys.
Are you kidding me? That is just gonna cause everything to squish together. You not know how to do your job?
And I'm like, so I give her the bag. She's like,
you guys literally never know how to do anything right. I always have to do everything myself.
And I'm just like, okay. So I just stand there and I'm like looking at the customer behind her because I'm like waiting for him. So I hate when customers like don't like help. Like say something to help me. Like I'm literally like standing here getting verbally abused and you're just standing there like, tell her to calm down, like, cause I can't. So she's just like, she hands me her coupon. Like I finished ringing up all her coupons and she's just like,
you sure you ringed up all my coupons? Because I checked this before I came here and it was supposed to be a lot less than that. I will be checking because you guys mess up.
And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know how to do my job. Like at this point, I was getting so mad that I had to like say something sassy. I was like, pretty sure I'm capable to do my job. And I'm like, I did ring up all your coupons. So she's just going on and on and on. At this point, I can feel all the tears like coming. Like I'm gonna like have a meltdown. So I just like Leo, like I'll be right back. So I go over to my friend and I'm like, can you go finish that lady? Like I really like I can't do it. So at this point, I start crying. And my manager like sees me like not on my register. She's like, where's Chelsea? And I'm like, I'm right here. Like, and she's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I just start like bawling. I'm like, I need a minute. Like, I can't. Like, so then she like feels really bad. So she comes over to me. And she's just like, are you okay? Like, you need to go take a minute. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, that lady was just like really intense. And then everyone started telling me that like they've had her and like that's just how she is. Like, she is a very big like coupon person. She does everything to be her way. Like, and I'm like, okay, like I felt better. Okay, so the second story that I'm thinking of, okay, so this happened maybe like a few months ago. So I walk into work, this is the first customer of the day. Like, you know how sometimes when you start your job, like you just kind of get thrown in, like when it's really busy, like you just feel like you're being thrown into like a cage full of lions. Like this is how I felt. I was already like overwhelmed because it was so busy and I'm so tired. So I go in, this like Hispanic man comes in and he doesn't speak any English and I don't speak any Spanish. So I'm just like, what the heck is going on? So he puts up on my belt 50 avocados, guys. 50 avocados. Not in a bag, he just puts them all on my thing. So I'm like, oh my god. So whatever, I just type in 50 at 4046, which is the code for avocados. scan his card like to get his discount. Total is $50. Sometimes we have sales on avocados, but today they were $1. Like they were $1 a piece. $50, sir. He's just like, oh, I'll be like, I don't want to be like rude and like kind of like mock Hispanic people, but like he literally wasn't even speaking Spanish. Like he was just speaking gibberish. Like, oh, he ba be she ba ba be she ba, like, and I'm like, sir, like it's $50. And he's just like going like 4 for, like I think he was trying to tell me that they were 4 for 1. I finally understood that like at the end. But he's like, no, 4 for 1. Like there's no way an avocado is 4 for $1. Like avocados are expensive. So at this point he's still like going on and on. And I'm like, oh my god, like what the heck is going on? Like sometimes when stuff like this happens, I literally feel like I'm on that show, What Would You Do? I'm like, okay, like enough. Like the prank's over. So I go over to my manager and I'm like, I don't know what this guy is trying to tell me. Like he doesn't speak any English. Like. So she comes over and she's like,
sir, it's $50.
It was so funny, but he's just like still like freaking out. So my manager called over the produce guy and he came over and he like explained to the guy like, no, they're not $4 for $1, they're $1 a piece. So then he's like, oh well, I don't want them. So we didn't get any avocados. This ordeal went on for, I kid you not, probably 15 minutes. He didn't get any avocados and it caused all that stress. So then this happened like a week ago. I think this was the exact same guy. I swear to God it was the exact same guy. He puts on my belt, or he had like a cart full of bananas, and bananas are like, you have to weigh the bananas, like they aren't just like a certain price, like you have to weigh them. So he had a whole box full of bananas, like probably like 25 like bushes of bananas, like you know how like they come in like 5 in a bush. Is that what they're called? So I'm like, sir, like I have to weigh those, like you can't just take them. And he's just like, no, he's like he was like, well, blah blah, like $25, and I'm just like, no, like that's not true. So I had a produce manager nearby and he's just like trying to tell the man like, no, like we have to weigh them, like there's no set price. He was trying to tell us that someone told him that they're $25. So whatever. So we put him up with the produce guy hands me the bananas, I weigh them, blah blah blah, like I hand them back to him. At the end of the whole transaction, the total came to like $27 and some change. The guy's like, no, like $25, like I'm not paying that. So we're like, no, it's $27. Like I don't know who told you that it was $25, but it's $27. So the guy's like, no, I don't want them then. And we're like, seriously? We just weighed all those bananas and you're not going to pay for them? Like, it's an extra $2 than what you thought they were going to be. So the produce guy takes all the bananas away. I had to have a manager avoid this because it's like $27. Like, that's a lot. Like, it has to be like, a manager has to avoid it if it's over $20. So then the guy goes over to the service desk and supposedly that, so I guess someone did tell him that they were $25. So the produce guy who just put all the bananas back got called again to go get all the bananas and bring them back to this guy. And he got the bananas. Okay, so the next story, so I had this guy, I'm getting like stressed out like telling all these stories. So this guy comes to my line and I ring up his bread. So it was $2.99, buy one, get one free. So the guy starts freaking out.
No, it was $1.99, buy one, get one free.
And I'm just like, no, it's $2.99. Like I hate when customers try to tell me something like that I know the price is right. Like sometimes I'll even like go and check, but this particular day, like I've had this happen like all day long. Like I knew that at this point that this was the price of it. And like my boss has this thing where he tells us we have like a $10 window to like make the customer happy. Like technically I could like just change the price and give that to the customer, but like no, you're not gonna get your way. Like don't throw a fit like a child just so you can get your way. Like I don't think that's like the right thing to teach customers. Like if customers knew that that was the thing, that they're just gonna be total like just so they can get their way, that makes no sense. No. Like if he had said it nicely, then yeah, I would have adjusted it. Like okay, like don't throw a fit at me and like belittle me because blah blah blah. So this guy is like freaking out. So my friend, she comes over and she's just like, sir, it's $2.99, buy one get one free. I don't know where you got the $1.99, but it's not that. So this guy is like throwing a fit. Like he runs away. He goes like, I'm gonna go get the sign. So he runs over. He gets the sign. So at this point, my manager just like, Chelsea, just change it. Like who cares? I'm like, okay, change it. His wife takes all the bags and leaves. This guy comes back as I'm already doing the next transaction. He's just like,
see right there, $1.99.
And I'm like,
sir, that is the unit price. That is not the actual price.
Tiny little thing in the corner that says the unit price of the item. And he's just still freaking out. I'm like,
sir, you got the bread for the $1.99. Like, I already finished the transaction. Like, you're okay. Like, leave.
So he like throws a fit still, takes the sign and throws it in the garbage like on his way out. I'm like, wow, you showed me. Oh my god. Oh my god. This had to have been the worst customer I've ever had. Okay. So, at the grocery store, there's the self-checkout things, which I now never work those because I was on those, like, all the time at my job, and I literally just had the worst experience ever. Like, customers are so rude on that thing. I think it's just, like, working it, it's very stressful because you have to, like, keep pushing buttons to, like, okay stuff because people take the bags off the thing and then the scale gets all messed up. It's just a very stressful job, and like the customer gets irritated because like the machine keeps telling them things that they're already doing, like put the bag back on the thing or put the item back in the bag or scan the item again, like, so it's just like two like irritated people like colliding, so it's not a good environment. So I had worked like an 8-hour shift at this day. I think I was like hour 6 at this point, so I'm like over it. So this particular day my boyfriend was coming into town, which if you guys didn't know, my boyfriend lives in New York City. So, I hadn't seen him in like a month at this point. So, I'm at the easy scan thing, like, blah, blah, blah. Doing my job. And there's this customer at the checkout thing. So, my boyfriend comes in, and I'm still doing my job. Like, sorry, I didn't know I wasn't allowed to do other things than just stand there and pay attention to you. So, my boyfriend comes in, and I was like, oh my god, like, hi. So, like, he comes over to me, so I give him a hug, and we're just talking, and I'm still, like, doing my job. Like, I'm multitasking. I'm pretty sure I can multitask. It's not that hard. So, this lady is, like, throwing a fit. She's just like,
oh, ma'am, my grapes aren't scanning.
So I go over to her, and I take the grapes, and I set them on the scale, and I'm like, yeah, you gotta type in that number, like, because there's a barcode on the grapes, but that's not how you do it. You have to weigh them. So I show her, you gotta type it in. So I take the grapes, I put them in the bag for her. Trying to be nice, you know? And she freaks the out. She's just like,
Thanks, but I didn't want them in that bag.
so she takes them and puts them in a different bag, like, okay. Okay. I just remembered this. So before my boyfriend got there, she had a big pizza, and I had to show her how to do it. You have to type in the code on the pizza. So I put the pizza on the scale, I type in the thing, and I put the pizza up on top. So I just remembered that she told my manager that I ripped the pizza out of her hand. So then I'm standing there, like, still talking to my boyfriend, and I hear her saying, like,
oh, maybe if she wasn't so busy with her boyfriend, like, she could pay attention and actually do her job.
and I'm just like... So at this point, my boyfriend left. Like, he was like, alright, I gotta go. Like, I can't get out of here. Like, I don't want to get you in trouble. So I'm like, I said to this lady, I was just like, actually, it wasn't my boyfriend. She's just like,
oh, really? She's like, keep up with the attitude, Chelsea. I'll get your manager.
I was like, oh, you want me to go grab her? Because I hate when customers say that. Like, don't try to, like, scare me with my manager. Like, when you leave, we're just gonna laugh at you. Like, it's not that serious. So I'm like, you want me to get her for you? She's like,
yeah, actually, I do.
So at this point, I'm, like, about to, like, start crying because this lady is just, like, making me, like, livid. So I go over to my manager and I'm like, hey, like, this lady is like being so rude to me and now she thinks I'm giving her attitude. My manager did yell at me. Actually, she told me that like I can't talk to customers like that, but like I just hate like being like talked down to. Like, just because I'm on the other side of the counter does not mean that you can treat me like I'm less than a human. Like, I would never talk to someone in customer service like that. It's literally just mind-boggling that people like are okay. Okay guys, so those are all the stories I'm going to be telling in this part. If you guys like this video and you want to hear more of my horror stories, then go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll be sure to do a part 2 of this. I have a lot more funny stories. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I hope you laughed a little bit, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!